So now we're going to talk about doing a Hock cast and a carpal cast. Do not open this until you've gone through all these positioning and getting everything set up, because this starts setting up the very second that you open and air starts getting to it. So put this to the side until we do this. I've never had to sedate a dog. I have had to muzzle dogs, but the most important thing is to have your team ready and have a low anxiety level, because the dog can sense that. So I put a person with very low anxiety level at the head to hold, and then someone that's at the back that's going to help me more with the hand part, because cutting strips turn. I need a second set of hands once I actually start wrapping the cast. The most important things about the carpal and Hock brace are the positioning. Now, you can see here, laying sideline, if I were to take a cast of the leg in this position, that's not a similar standing position. And so what's very important is to get a good standing position. We don't do a standing cast because oftentimes if there's something going on when they're standing, and they're not standing in the right position anyway. So we'd rather be able to position the dog with our hands in the position that we want. So there's a couple things that you should look at. One is, what does the dog look like when they're actually standing, and what position are you trying to get them into? If there's one side that has a good angle that you want them to be, have them stand and take a picture of the good side, and then have that picture sitting next to you so you know what position to get the other paw into. That way you're not guessing, did I get this in the right position? Have something that you can reference right while you're doing it. Positioning is a big thing. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that the dog isn't anxious with our positioning. Jet is very, very calm here. Many dogs aren't this calm, and they're going to be checking out what you're doing, and they're going to be pulling their leg back and not letting you manipulate. And so it's very important that you spend 5, 10, 15 minutes. They need to know what you're doing, that you're not going to hurt them. So as I'm talking to you, I'm just letting Jetta know that I'm manipulating her leg and there's no danger. So, and while I'm doing that, I'm trying to, where do I need to hold on to be able to get this paw in the good standing position that I want? I know from experience that this is a good standing angle for the Hock, stifle, and paw. And so I've got my hands in those positions. I'm actually pushing on the Hock back here with my palm, and that's how I'm controlling that angle. And if I have to pull back, then I pull back with my fingers on the inside of that. So then I can control that angle. To control the stifle, it's more with a pulling motion of the other two hands. And see, I can control that stifle angle. She's pulling back with me, and so you just do it in more of a relaxed manner until you can get it into that position. The paw this is probably the toughest joint to get into the position that you want, because they have the tendency to fight the most at the paw. Now what I do is I usually take my pinky and I lay it into the angle of the paw, and I put my palm on the paw. So when I do that, I can manipulate that angle, and I can get a very good hold on that. And then I can also help manipulate the stifle. So by positioning my hands like that, I can control those angles of that Hock. And so that's going to be very important when you actually do the cast. Now, when you do the cast on the Hock, we actually ask you to put the cutting strip down the front, so you'll be able to hold over the top of the casting or the cutting strip to do that. The reason is the bony landmarks that are important with the Hock and the carpal are the malleoli here, and we need to see those more importantly than the crest. We can approximate that much easier than we can this. So this is with the Hock, how you hold on. With the carpus, it's similar. You hold on with the paw like that, and then the elbow you kind of have to. You can control like this, but it depends on where your biggest deformity is the elbow or the carpus. If it's the carpus, again, it's similar with the Hock. You hold on to the actual spot, and you want to make sure that you're not going generally into carpal hyperextension. But each one's different. So that cast is going to include the whole paw up to the bend of the elbow. The Hock cast will go from including the paw all the way up to the bend of the Hock. You don't need to bring it up into the stifle if we're just doing a Hock brace. You need your bowl of water, your hook blade, your scissors, stockinette, tape measure, gloves, cutting strip, casting tape, and towels. So I'll start with putting the towel in between the legs. This cast is going to go from here up to here. This cast, the cutting strip has to go down the cranial aspect and not the lateral, so we want to make sure to keep it here. So when we make our incisions, small incision here, small incision here, put the cutting strip through there. Do this, you want to make sure that everything wets out. You see the bubbles coming up out of there. Just keep massaging it for 10-15 seconds till you know that it's dampened out. And then I wring it out. Wrapping this. I'm going to include the whole paw. And I actually wrap down past the end of it. And then start back up. 2 to 3 layers. Continually guiding, keeping back where it's sprinkling. And massage everything in. And now you want to press the paw up, and we're trying to keep the correct standing angle. Hold one hand with the paw, and then if you have to, hold this, continually massaging it. So now that the cast is hard, we want to make an incision. We don't want to cut in at the very top. We actually want to come in right above or below the top, and then set down the trough. Use the scissors. Cut the stockinette. Take it off the brace. Pull the cutting strip out. Take it off the brace, off the leg, and then we need to take the stockinette out right away, otherwise it will stick to the